This is really actually a tough time. You know, at the beginning of the season, we had really high hopes, and we really did well the first 7-8 games, and it's been obviously a little bumpy since then. But with 20% of the games gone, I've still got a lot of optimism. Players are still learning how to play with each other. Managers learning a little bit more about managing when you have winning streaks and then when you have those losing streaks. So all in all, I'm disappointed at the moment, but I feel like we'll really pull out of it. It's really challenging when people question my integrity in terms, do I really care? I came to Huddersfield Town, you know, really committed to make sure that we would do the very best job that we have. And I think in so many ways we've shown people that. When we're not doing well and I'm 5,200 miles away, it's a very lonely feeling. I know I can see the fans, I feel the fans. Typically after a match like that, because it's very early in the morning my time, I'll go out for a hike or a run or a walk, and I'll reflect on that. And it's a very somber feeling. And so I feel the pain. We have done a lot, I think, to really enhance the quality of, you know, around the stadium, and I think what we've done at the academy, and I think what we've done, you know, just within our infrastructure, you know, protecting the future. But one thing we haven't been able to do is consistently figure out how to win on the pitch. I think that's probably the only facet, which is the core facet. It's very frustrating. I think that we've made a substantial investment into the players this year. We handpicked most all those players to make sure that they would be a team that would be able to compete and really get promoted. But to now, it just doesn't look like it, and that disappoints me, although I will say this much. You know, we've got a young manager who's got a lot of energy and a lot of talent and a lot of promise. We just have to make sure that we can take all those assets and combine those with those players and their talents and get it on the pitch to win. You know, the one thing that I've learned about the fact that when you purchase an asset or make an investment in, let's say, something like Huddersfield Town AFC, you're going to have peaks and naders, times when there's going to be a lot of progress and times when you're going to have some failures. And unfortunately right now we're down in that down cycle. But I also realize we played the long game, and the long game means that within a period of time we're going to be back up and we're going to be successful across the board. I really feel like what we've done, you know, on the non-field side has been really well. I'm really happy, even in fact, with the way that the Huddersfield Town Women's Club has really performed, you know, in recent times. And I feel like we'll eventually get there with the men's club as well. A lot of people ask why that I came out to Huddersfield, you know, at this period of time. And candidly, I really come out here every 6 weeks or so. This is that 6-week cycle, but also I knew that I feel like I needed to talk to the organization across the board. I've talked to, you know, our senior leadership team. I'll be talking to Lee and his assistants later on today, in fact. And we have to ask ourselves all the hard questions. You know, what are the things we're doing right? What are the things that we're not doing right? And how do we remedy them? Because we still have 80% of the games left in our season, and I believe that we're still doing the right thing. I think visibility is important and accessibility is important to our fans because they have a lot of questions, and I think sometimes when things aren't going well, that's when they really question the most. But I will say this much: when you lose, there's not a lot to say other than the fact that everybody sees you lost, and we look to see a better day. And so I'm not afraid to be on social media, but I know that some people question that. But I do think it's really important to be in front of your fans because we need to communicate what's going on with the club. My role as the owner and chairman is to provide as much in the way of support and resources to really the management team, whether it's the senior leadership team or really it's the management team on the pitch. And so that's one of the reasons why I've come out here, is to do a head check with Lee and the team to make sure that they have all those assets and all those resources. But I feel, in as much as so far we keep in constant communication on that, and so far there's nothing that we have not been able to deliver that they need. But we're going to come and we're going to check that right now. I totally understand where the fans are coming right now. Frequently there's just some things we just can't tell our fan base. I'd love to be able to, but you just cannot. And so you have to understand that that's just going to happen. That's just the reality. But in the end, I believe that we're going to make sure that we do the very best that we can, and people are going to be aware of that. If we did not have the talent, we didn't have the ability, we didn't have the coaching, we didn't have the leadership, that would be an issue, but that is just not the case. We've invested very heavily to make sure this year that we be as promotable as we can, and I think it showed early in the season that we were going to do that. As I said, in other areas, that we knew that the manager was not going to have instant success and not have some valleys, and we're in a valley right now, and we need to bounce back out. And I believe that Lee and his team are fully capable of doing that. I also realize that people are human beings, and that I think as long as there are not personal attacks and name calling to people, I think that those are patently and morally wrong. And I would expect that our fan base would not do such things. But I think that criticism is part of everyday life, and you sometimes have to actually embrace it. I believe we have the ability to improve. We've got some great players. We've got a great staff of coaches. We've got a manager, albeit young. He's very flexible, and he's open to change. And that's what I really came to embrace about Lee. So I have full confidence that we're going to continue to move back up in the right direction.
You good to go?
All good, let's go.
Really frustrated. Obviously, we put ourselves in good positions at times, and yeah, listen, we want to make it right. As you say, we're still only early in the season, but we've had long chats in the training ground, and we need to make things right. We need to make things better.
It's always difficult when we're not doing as well as a team, but I'm always going to be trying to do that no matter what the situation is. I'm always going to be wanting to score.
When it boils down to it, the direction of the club, the love I have for the club, everything just sort of pointed to staying. I think part of my story at the club, I just didn't feel like it was over.